Hi everybody, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how to use waterless cookware to make eggs. Sometimes we get people who say the hardest thing to figure out is how to use a stainless steel pan to cook eggs without the eggs sticking and just making a huge mess. So we're going to talk about how to make that happen today. One of the very first and most important steps is to actually have everything set up and prepared before you even get started. The reason is because when you're using waterless cookware to cook your eggs, it doesn't take very long at all. When we use non-stick pans or other traditional forms of cookware, it's really easy to just turn on the heat, let it sit there and heat up, and then throw your eggs inside and let them sit there for 5 minutes or whatever. And it's not a problem because with a non-stick pan you can just tip it upside down and the egg will slide right out. With stainless steel cookware you can't do that. It takes usually 1 to 2 minutes to cook a 3-egg omelet in a stainless steel pan, for example. So you have to make sure that you're able to pay attention and be right there with it the whole time that you're cooking it. You can't step away and do other things. So it's important to be prepared and have everything set up before you even get started. So here's what I have here today. I'm really simple with my stuff unless I'm making an omelet. If I'm making an omelet, I'll have other like sauteed veggies and stuff like that here to add to everything. But what I have here today is just some butter or any form of grease that you want to use, whether it's oil or non-dairy butters. I also have, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to do a fried egg. So I just have an egg that I'm going to crack straight into the pan, and then we also have a 3-egg scramble here as well. Also have my spatulas. I love metal spatulas. Since you're using stainless steel, you can use metal. It's easier to get underneath things when you're using metal on metal. And I have a rubber spatula as well for my scramble. And then just salt and pepper. And of course we have our pans heating up. And one of the things that's important with the pans is that you heat them up, that you preheat them on the right temperature. So today we're heating the pans on medium to medium low. We'll show you what the flame looks like on that. So every stove's a little bit different. You need to figure out where your medium to medium low is on your particular stove. It might take you a couple of times of trying it out. So the first step is have everything prepared. The second step is preheat your pans. The third step is test the pans to make sure that they're the right temperature. And here's how you can tell if they're the right temperature or not. There's 2 ways to test. You want to drop a little bit of water into the pan, and if it steams away right away, that means they're not hot enough yet. But if you drop a little bit of water into the pan and it does what we call dancing, that means that it's hot enough, it's ready.
Okay.
So once your pans are heated and ready, the first thing that you want to do is turn your heat down just a little bit. And then you want to, what I like to do is I test the pan with the butter to see if it's too hot. So you want to make sure that it's hot enough with testing it with the water dancing, and then you want to test it to make sure that it's not too hot by just putting a little bit of oil or grease in the pan. Now see how that smokes? That's too hot. So if it smokes like that, no problem. Go ahead and take a piece of paper towel and wipe that out. And then turn the heat down on the pan. And give it a couple more minutes until it's the right temperature for you. So I turned the heat down a little bit, and it's been a minute or two. And now you'll see when we put a little bit of butter in here, it actually melts and it doesn't smoke. So you can see we have just enough butter in the pan to coat the bottom. If it doesn't quite coat the bottom, this one that doesn't have quite enough, go ahead and put a little bit more in there. Basically you just want to coat the bottom of the pan so that it's nice and slick so that your eggs don't stick. So now we're going to go ahead and fry the egg. So I just crack the egg and then right straight into the pan. Now like I said, it only takes a minute or 2 to cook this, so I always go straight to seasoning it. A little salt and pepper is all I need on mine, and you'll see how it's cooking nice and evenly. Here's the other thing that's great. You can take your metal spatula and you'll see how you can get in right underneath it, no problem. Because it doesn't really stick to the pan. Anything when you throw it in a hot pan will stick right away. But the great thing is that these pans cook so evenly, you'll usually get a nice even browning on the bottom, So once they're seared off on the bottom, it's not a problem. You can just flip them over, no problem. So what we're going to be able to do with this, it depends on how you want to cook it. You can do it over easy, over medium, over hard. I like mine over easy. There's a couple different ways that you can do that. You can actually take a little bit of water, put it in the pan and throw a lid on, and then it'll steam it from the top. Or you can just flip it right over and have it cook on the other side as well. That's the best way to do it over hard egg. So what I'm going to do is show you how you can just flip it over nice and evenly, because most people want to know how do you do it so it doesn't stick. So come check this out here real quick. So you're going to see I can get underneath it real easy. The egg will even slide around in the bottom of the pan, no problem. You just take it, flip it over. So we're going to give it another 30 to 60 seconds on this side, and then it'll be done. Okay, so here's what you can do. Just slide your metal spatula under there. You should feel that it doesn't grip to the pan at all. You can see how it just slides right around, and there it is. It's nice and perfectly cooked. Both top and bottom, nice even browning. And you'll notice it's over easy as well. What we used to fry the egg was actually the small 8.5-inch frying pan. This one is actually our 10-inch. It's the medium-sized 10-inch fry pan. You can use either one. I actually prefer to use the small 8.5-inch fry pan for all of my eggs, whether it's an omelet, a scramble, or a fried egg. But I'm going to show you how to do it in the medium pan as well. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and add the scramble right to the pan. So throw it in. Now the best thing to do here with the scramble, and I learned this from a friend of mine who worked in a gourmet omelet shop, is to keep it scrambling, right? Notice how it really doesn't stick to the pan at all. This is a rubber spatula, and it comes right off the bottom of the pan, no problem. Now if you want nice fluffy scrambled eggs, turn on your broiler and throw your broiler under, or throw the eggs underneath the broiler after they've been cooking here for about 30 seconds to a minute. If you don't have time for that, just go ahead and do a nice little scramble like this, and they'll come out perfectly after just a minute or two of cooking. It doesn't take very long at all. You'll see they slide out of the pan just like that. And here's the best part. When you follow these steps properly, look at the cleanup. It's nothing. You can literally take a sponge and hot soapy water and wipe that all out, or throw them in the dishwasher and they're going to be just fine. So that's how you do eggs in waterless cookware. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to visit us at sharpjosh.com or email me if you have any questions.